Well, thanks so much for being here. You know, 1 year ago today, Joe Biden took the oath of office as President of the United States. And we're here to tell you that after 1 year, and you take a look at that year, it has been a year of failure on item after item after item after item. Joe Biden came into office and he promised he was going to unite the country, and he said he was going to put COVID behind us. So what happened? The country's massively divided as a result of President Biden, and he's left behind all of the major issues that the American people care about. Of course, number one is inflation. So what happened? Well, on day number one, he killed the Keystone XL pipeline, attacked oil, gas, and coal, made us more dependent on foreign sources of energy, and as a result, people today are paying $1 more a gallon for gasoline than they were the day that Joe Biden became President of the United States. They then did a so-called COVID relief bill, $2 trillion added to spending, added to the debt, which brought about inflation. We said it was going to happen. They said it'd be transitory. They said for 8 months in a row it was going to be transitory. It's not been transitory. We are now at a 40-year high of inflation in the United States. People are paying more for gas, for goods, for groceries, and a result that they've had to change the way they shop, the way they eat, the way they drive. This has impacted people. And the other part of this so-called COVID relief bill, which was supposed to go for COVID relief, for testing and treatments and things like that, this administration was woefully unprepared when the Omicron variant arrived. It was a scavenger hunt for testing. Long lines, empty shelves. That's what the administration brought. One of the things that didn't come up in the press conference yesterday was crime in the cities. And we have murder rates skyrocketing across the country at the same time that the Democrats continue to call to defund the police. No one yesterday at the press conference asked the president about going to the southern border. But so many executive orders just opened the southern border to the point that 2 million illegal immigrants have come into this country since he's been president. And we're talking about criminals, drug dealers, the gang members. They never addressed the issue that fentanyl is now the #1 killer in the United States of people between the ages of 18 and 45. That should have come up yesterday in another area which the president has failed. And then there is Afghanistan, for which the president did not apologize. On one day in August, we had the greatest loss of military lives in combat in the last decade. The president failed to protect our troops and failed to protect the Americans that were left behind after all of the troops left. And the president called an extraordinary success. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff called it a strategic failure. So today our friends don't trust us, our enemies don't fear us, and the president's only solution seems to be to pass another $5 trillion bill, his so-called Build Back Better, this reckless tax and spending bill, which I know is going to make inflation worse. And then, of course, he goes after ballots and states and tries to have Washington take over elections. And if you're not for him on those things, you're either a racist or a traitor, probably both. Look, we have a president who is weak, who's overwhelmed, who's ineffective. And I look at this, and to me, that ends up as Biden's year of failure.